Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here in Erlengrat. What would that... There's only a few minutes difference on it. I was thinking maybe, you know, we could say that we had a little bit of extra time there, but that's barely... I don't know that we're even going to be able to empty out the two trailers. I'm not sure that we're going to be able to do it. So I've managed to spin them right round there, despite the fact that I just jackknifed them, which definitely isn't something that we want to do. So slowly and carefully. That's what we have to do. We have to reverse slowly and carefully. Now, I must say, without trying to crow my own praises too much, I'm pleased with myself, with the progress I've made with reversing two trailers. Because when I started playing FS19, like in FS17, I couldn't do it at all. Never really done it in real life either. But I'm now reaching a level where I'd like to say that I got basic competency in reversing two trailers tied together. That wasn't... They're not straight. There's definitely room for improvement there, and I've got to go very, very slowly in order to be able to do it, but I am starting to be able to reverse two trailers tied together, or a trailer with a turntable on it. So I'm pleased with that I've managed to progress this far. It's actually quite a cool feeling knowing that I've developed this skill over the few years that I've been playing this game, and I'm not sure how it would translate into real life. I mean, I know how to drive tractors and reverse trailers and so on. It's something that I've spent a lot of time doing in my life. But whether or not two trailers tied together would now be something that I would be able to do in real life because of what I've learned to do in this game, I don't know. However, one thing I do know is that I am going to try it at some point. I'm going to try and fit something up, or, you know, make arrangements so that I can attempt this task in real life, and then I will report back to you. I doubt that there's going to be any video evidence of it happening. That's almost definitely not going to happen. There won't be video evidence of it happening, but it could be interesting to see if it can be done. I mean, there may be able to be video evidence. I cannot say one way or another if there can be video evidence of it happening at the moment because of who owns the tractors and trailers that I would be using in order to attempt such feat. It's not my tractors and trailers. The one place I can think of that I would actually be able to attempt this. It doesn't belong to me, so it would be entirely down to the person that owns the vehicles. So I would have to speak to them first, find out if such a thing could be filmed, and it would be my first ever... I've never, ever, ever in my life attempted to reverse a trailer with a turntable on it. Never done it. I have pulled them forward a few times, but never once have I actually been in a position where I had to reverse any, or even attempted to reverse any. So it could be quite an interesting thing to try and do, and to see whether or not I could do it, because I don't know that a turntable trailer would be an option, because I don't actually know of anyone that owns a turntable trailer. But two trailers hooked together like this, that could be an option. Now, it's saying exactly 8 o'clock right there, and it's on 28,900 just here. If we said 1 minute 2, it's literally just seconds in it. We're alright to tip this out at 8 o'clock. This is something that is acceptable, tipping it out at 8 o'clock. It's borderline, admittedly. No, we're pushing the rules here a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be such a serious offence, us pushing these rules, that anybody is going to be particularly bothered. Now, what I'd like to do is come back and tip a little bit more in just a minute, but we need to go and stop our other tractor from working first. So we've got 2,500 litres of silage left in here exactly that we want to tip out. So I need to go to this one over here. So I'm going to have to just stop him right there and... Dude, you're not one of the Blues Brothers. Seriously. Has anyone seen that film? I love that film. I think that film is brilliant. I'm not going to say anything else about it. I know that there's a large chunk of you that haven't seen the Blues Brothers, but I'm certain there's probably going to be one or two of you that has seen the Blues Brothers. For those of you who have, why on earth would I have said that he's not one of the Blues Brothers? There's, I can't even remember what their names are. You know what? Let me just do a quick Google search. I gotta find out what their names are. This is gonna really bug me if I don't know what their names are. Jake and Elwood are the Blues Brothers. Something that does surprise me that I've just found out is that there was actually a second Blues Brothers made in the year 2000. That's not the one that I'm talking about. It's the original Blues Brothers from the 80s. That's the one that I'm talking about. The sequel apparently isn't as good, at least according to the ratings. So we're on 2 minutes past 8. I am going to go just a little bit more with our time skipping until we got 47,500. There. Right, 47,500, and I will tip out at the very last of the silage here. It's 8. They're not going to complain about us, you know, going on until 8. People aren't going to mind. They're reasonable people around here. So there we have that one completely full of silage. That'll empty out by the time we're all done. By the time we get to the morning, that will have emptied out completely. So I want to come over here, and it's I want to go. Why won't it use? There. I've got to get close enough to it, that's why. So I want 13 hours. No? That takes us until 9 a.m. and it's 7 a.m. So we will do 11 hours. We can go till 7 o'clock in the morning. That's when we'll do it again. So we got 54,711 euros from the biogas plant. Absolutely fantastic. That is what we wanted. 54,700 euros. Which means that we can get the rest of the items that we want for our potato harvest. So we're going to go over here. First, we want 2 of these. One for the front and one for the back of our electric tractor, which we'll be using for doing the harvesting. And then back, and we're going to go into belt systems. So this one here, I don't think that one actually loads into a trailer. I don't think that's an option, because looking at it here, it doesn't. It's just got this bit here, which doesn't lift very high, which means that one doesn't actually go high enough to go into a trailer. So that's not an option. We don't want that one. This one here, again, it's not very high anyway, and I got a feeling we're not going to be able to tip into that, which means that we want this one over here. Now, I very much doubt that we're going to be able to tip our link boxes into the front of that. Can't see that happening. But, I mean, this one here is 38,000, so we'll buy that one. And we'll go back. And then this one here, the last little bit, this is 5,000 euros, excuse me. So I want to buy that one as well. 5 grand. Okay, so it leaves us with 6,000 euros still. We're able to go and do a few things with. One of those things is almost definitely going to be buying fertilizer, I suspect. 48,600 spent. And right, so I can spend the day harvesting and fertilizing and stuff like that and earn a whole load more money. Definitely I can go and do that. Or we can just get this one working in the fields and then pretty much just fast forward time all through the day until we get to tomorrow and start doing some extra work. I could get a bit more fertilizer into the biogas plant, and yes, I know that basically this one is supposed to be about doing the contracts, so we're supposed to work those contracts, but there's nothing to sort of tie us to doing all of them, and quite frankly, that's all we've done so far. Now we've got our own little bit of land. I feel we ought to work our land a little bit more rather than focusing on contracts. So I'm going to leave, let's just move these trailers. I'll bring them over here. Got no money coming in from the biogas plant at the moment, and possibly we will change that over later, but I want to start getting some of the stuff back from the dealership. I mean, I can go and have a look at what we got, because we can just skip over to this one very quickly. So we've got the potato harvester right there. That's what we'll actually be using to harvest potatoes. These two here, they got straps on as well, which I didn't realize. I didn't know they had straps on them. And then we've obviously got these two here for loading the potatoes up, so we can put them in a heap, and then we can take them off and we can sell them somewhere. We've got to get the potatoes out of the ground. That's going to be the biggest thing. At the moment, we have weeds in our potatoes. So let's have a look at a couple of different things that we've got going on here. We want to have a look right in there. So we've got fruit types and we've got growth. That's stage 1 growth up there. So I'm just going to go and visit this lime station here because I want to see what is going on with this field of potatoes. This is growth stage 2 here, which means that even if I go and buy a weeder, this right here, there's a line there that hasn't been planted because the planter was leaving bits, and it did actually properly leave a bit. I want to have a look up here. There. The weeder would be able to weed that little bit there, but it won't be able to weed any of the rest of it. So we got nothing that we can do about the weeds across the rest of this field. That's all too far gone. So there's no point in us buying a weeder because we can't do anything about it. That's just game over for those. Right, which means that all we need is for that to grow quickly. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to take this. I'm leaving the trailers there because I want to come back. Actually, I didn't think I was going to miss everything there. I'm going to take these 2 trailers and I'm going to load them up with silage. Now that I think about it. And I'm going to put the silage, we'll tip it out into the BGA right here. And I'm then going to drive this back. And I think we won't actually worry about loading up any more silage today. We'll leave that for another day. I'm also not going to worry about starting planting of grass because I kind of want to get going with the potatoes. I want to see what it's like. Yes, I know we should really be getting on with all of the other work that we've got as well. But, you know, just for once, I think we can take a break from the contracts. We can let someone else take over those, despite the fact that that's technically what we're supposed to be doing with this series. I'm still going to leave it. So I'm going to put 1 double trailer load of silage in. We will tip that out into the hoppers over there for the BGA, and then once I've done that, we will, let's just move this one over a bit, like that. Once we've done that, we will do some, we'll move all of the machinery from the dealership over to the main farm while I'm busy working at the same time. So I'm just going to start that one up like that, and I'm going to lower it down. Load up everything that I can. You've got to switch it off every time. Back over here, and then go again. Just 2 trailer loads. That's all I'm after. It's just 2 trailer loads, and then we can start moving everything from the dealership back to the main yard. So we're going to use this tractor to do it. So obviously this one's got the highest road speed. And the other tractor is stronger, so we can just keep chugging away with the cultivating while we're moving stuff around. And then eventually we will be going back to bed again. Get an early night as soon as we can. And the potatoes should then be ready. Okay, that's everything that I want from that one. I'll bring that forward a little bit like that. Let's just lift that one up. And I'm just going to dump it like that. Okay, he's rattling, which makes me think he's probably going to get stuck in the ground. But we're going a long way from here, so we don't need to worry about that. So let's get you hooked in. So that's all I'm doing today. Not doing any contracts. I know there's a load of fertilizer jobs. We could make some money on that if I was to... Well, yes, actually we could. We could make the money on the fertilizer. We could make the money on definitely the harvest jobs. Nice bit of money can come in from those harvest jobs. We know that, but I'm going to leave all of them. Just going to abandon the whole lot because I really want to do these potatoes. Alright, I know it's probably irresponsible of me. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 fertilizer jobs right there. That would be 3, 5, and another 8. 13, 14, 15,000 we'll probably spend first. So there's probably 10 grand profit that we could make from the fertilizer jobs. And then there's one, so what do we got in here? Soybean, 2 soybean, and a sunflower, and a wheat, and a potato, and a sugar beet. So there's a lot of money that could be made. Potato harvest right there. That was on field 18, isn't it? That one up there is in field 20, I'm guessing is the other one. Yeah, 18 and 20. So there's these 2 right here that we could do. There's more root crops up here. You've got field 3 up there. That one's sugar beet. We've got sugar beet, potatoes. So there's a lot of root crops coming in. We could go and do all of those. Or I could ignore the whole lot, skip ahead another day. This is kind of a big decision, I suppose, really, because if I'm doing this, I am ignoring quite a sizable chunk of money in the long run. The amount of money that we do stand to make from doing all of those harvest jobs is quite a bit. But the other side of the coin, I could make even more money doing my own harvest work. Now that I've bought some very, very basic harvesting equipment, if we can do that, we can start selling our own potatoes, and we could build up and do a little bit more. I mean, we'll probably just do another round of potatoes after we've done these. But, I mean, do we? I could potentially buy... I haven't planted grass in our big field yet. If I was to use put all the rest of the silage into the BGA, that could be more money than we got last time. So we could be well over 60 grand. We got all the potatoes right here. It's another big chunk of cash right there. We could, in theory, plant all of that big field with sugar beet. Now, harvesting the sugar beet is going to be a bit more difficult. We would need a sugar beet harvester. Planting it, we don't need any particular planter. We have the ability to do that right now, don't we? Don't those plant with sugar? Don't know. No, wait a minute. Sugar beet's going to be planted with a row crop, and we don't have a row crop, so we wouldn't be able to do that. Oops. Okay, so we've got the anyway. All right, let's not worry about that for a minute. That's a big field to plant with sugar beet. Well, the only reason I wanted to look at it is I'm just curious. Planters of the sugar beet ones is soybeans that you can do with both, isn't it? Yeah, it says soybeans. So we would have to buy a planter. In order to be able to cover the whole field, we would have to buy a planter. The cheapest one is 27,000 euros. If we go to these 2, we've got one at 70,000. Yeah. I might be able to find a mod with another cheap one, but we're looking at 30 grand. Close enough, 30 grand. And then we want the harvester, beet technology in here, which would be that one, which is 98,000. Plus, you also need that one, which makes 120 grand. And there isn't any other option. If we go into here, the cheapest, those are picker-uppers, is 375,000 euros. Not really an option. So we can't do it with that. We'd have to do the trailed one. That's 120 grand. So with the planter, we're looking at 150,000. 150,000 to be able to get invested into there. Now, potato technology, harvesting, obviously, we don't want to do this if we got a field that's any bigger than the one that we have right now. We'd also want to get a bigger planter if we were going to go anything bigger. So probably we will just plant with grass. We'll just go with that. We'll plant it with grass and we'll leave it at that. Anyway, he's almost finished the cultivating. Still not sure if I'm going to plant. I might just leave it for a minute, not plant grass, and we'll see how well we do with the potato harvest. If the small potato harvest that we've got is enough to expand our range of machinery, maybe we could do something different. I don't know. But I'm thinking leaving that as a cultivated field and not planting it with anything just yet is actually a good course of action. That is something that could end up saving us a bit of money in the long run. I'm in a new recording session. I'm just letting this one turn round. carry on back down across the field. We've not got very much left at all on this field. I've now started to get a little bit of feedback from people about what you want me to do with this map just while we finish out FS19 before we go to FS22. I don't know what map you want me to do, because I wasn't sure when I was asking the question how many maps there were going to be. Turns out there are going to be 3. There's going to be this one, there's going to be an American one, and there is going to be a French one. I've already decided that I'm going to be using the French one for the time-lapse, so that one's out, which means that we got 2 other maps. And the question I wanted to ask you all was, do you want me to basically move what we've done here onto the FS22 version of this map and just continue on this series as we are, sort of focusing more on our own land though rather than on all of the contracts, although we will do some contract work, but we'll start to focus more on what we do with our own land, because from feedback from the series so far, it appears that most of you actually prefer it when I'm working on my own land anyway, even if the jobs are a bit more tedious than they would otherwise be. So we can sort of do some of the contract work to break it up a bit, but we would sort of, you know, work through that. But the other option, of course, is that I do my other series on here and just kind of play around on this map, and I start a hardcore series straight away on the US map. So give me some feedback in the comments section, and I will take that on board. I was also asking you previously if you felt that I should, you know, what I should do to sort of finish out FS19 on here, because the issue we've got at the moment is that we don't have time to do what I set out to do. I was going to get cows on this map. We know that's not going to happen, so I was basically asking, do you want me to sort of focus on building up more contracting stuff, getting more machinery for contracting, or do you want me to really focus on our own land here and become a potato root crop baron, and focus just on that? I mean, I could still try for cows and see if we can push to get the money to just get established with cows, because we should be able to do that if we go in here and we take a look at the very basic animal one. The cow pasture is 100,000, so we could at least make a start on that. But the feedback that I've been getting from people is that you don't want me to focus on cows, you want me to become the potato baron. So that's what we're going to try and do. We are going to attempt to become a potato baron. So, I am over here and I'm picking up all of the machine. We've got everything that we need for doing our harvest now. We've got the conveyor belts, we've got trailers back at home, we've got the potato harvesting equipment there, and we're able to pick the potatoes up off the floor. So, yes, we aren't necessarily going to be able to do it very quickly, but we do have the machinery here, we have the capability of doing it, and so this is what we're going to try and do. There is another thing that I want to do with our farm, and that is I want to also build a new track. That is going to involve us cutting down the last couple of trees that are along the bottom over here. Let me just bring this one in. So, the potato pile, for now I'm going to put the conveyor belts back over here. And we're just going to sort of keep them back here at the farm just for a minute. We may very well end up piling the potatoes in the field. So I'm going to leave that one there. I'm just going to drive along the track. So, yeah, we want to remove that tree there and want to remove that one over there as well. I believe I can do that. That's actually something that I need to just double check. This one, yeah, we can remove the tree. That's not a problem. And I think we can do the same with this one. So we can build our track right down the bottom. Yes, we can also do it with that one, because it'll tell us that we don't own it if we're on land that we don't own, and the tree then belongs to someone else. Possibly this one will give us that. No, we own that one. This one we don't, so it's immediately telling me that I don't have access to the land. So we do have access to the land up there for doing those other 2 trees. You finished that bit, you've just got that little tiny strip there to do, and then that one is all done. So Over here, what we'll want to do is then we'll be able to have the track down the bottom, and we won't have the sort of the rough bits with the hills on the side and stuff like that, and just make it a little bit easier. So that's something that I would like to do. It's not an essential, so we're going to focus on the potato harvest first and work on getting that done, and then once the potato harvest is done, then we can sort of focus on other bits. So for now, I'm not going to worry too much about contracts. I'm not going to worry too much about harvesting any of the other stuff that might be... So I know that we've got some contracts there where we could go and break out the combines once again, but we've been through this cycle a number of times now, and I know that several of you are getting a bit fed up with that, and you'd like me to not focus on doing the combines and doing the contracts, because it's sort of, yes, although I'm sort of still playing a hardcore series, you'd like me to probably not do that to the machinery for a start, but you'd like me to be spending a bit more time focusing on our own land and our own crops and stuff, rather than constantly doing this never-ending stream of contracts that we've been working on. So I'm going to sort of focus on that a little bit more, and I'm really looking forward to getting your feedback about what you want me to do in FS22. And you might turn around and say that you don't really want this hardcore series anymore, or you want it done completely differently, so start over, start afresh. You definitely don't want me working on this map anymore. I don't know. I'm quite happy to take it in any direction at this point. I wanted to do a contract thing, a contract-based thing, and I feel I've done a contract-based thing. Yes, there is still more that I can do for a contract-based series. I can definitely go and do more contracts, but at this point, it's sort of... We've done so many contracts that anything that we're doing is getting very, very repetitive. I mean, it's a bit like doing the trees and carving our own farm out of the wilderness. It did get repetitive after the 60th episode of me cutting down trees. That being said, there were a lot of you that did like me cutting down the trees for 60 episodes. Maybe not quite 60 episodes in a row, and a number of you did feel that I imposed too many restrictions on myself at the beginning of it, so it was a bit slow getting started, but I still built up the farm from nothing. And there's also people who haven't particularly liked some of the things that have happened in here, in particular the whole debacle we had going on with the precision farming DLC, which basically messed up a whole load of stuff, and then I removed it only to find out that once the episodes after I'd removed it had gone live, they'd gone and patched the main issues that we had with the... Excuse me. The main issues that we had with the DLC anyway. So yeah, the precision farming thing did kind of lose us 25 episodes. Unfortunately, folks, that is all we have got time for today. A massive thank you to everybody who has earned their way into the Great Book of Names. To find out some more details about all the names coming past, please head into the description and click on the link to the Discord. It's a link to another video. The link is on the other video. Please also consider checking out the links there for Nitrado, who provide gaming servers for games like Farming Simulator, Minecraft, Ark, and several others. And there's also Fanatical, who will help support your gaming habit by providing you with cheap games and also giving me a small commission on anything that you buy using my link. If you've enjoyed this particular video, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.